It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.Lou.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. Leo Tolstoy. Yep, can't change the world if you don't change you first.
It starts with you.
Journey of a legend.
How appropriate.
Oh, yeah, no. I think we talk about that enough in the household.
Oh, yeah. It is a beautiful morning. We are up and at it. It's Friday, so we're a bit behind. It was a busy week. So without further ado, we're going to get right to it. Ego, pride, and intuition. What have your battles been with those three things, or have you mastered them all?
I'd be lying if I said that I mastered all those. I've been dealing with that since adolescence. And even though I feel like both genders deal with their own situations with those three things, I feel like men deal with it more for some reason. I guess it's the environment, the way we grew up. It may be all the way since the biblical times where they were doing that. I can think of many times where my pride and my ego trumped my intuition. One that stands out of my mind is when I had my bike. I had it for a minute. I thought I was like king shit on it. It didn't matter what it was. I could get on there and not have an accident, nothing. And one day I decided to go home and get some stuff checked out on it. And I asked my girlfriend at the time to take my car and follow me home. But all day I had this gut feeling or intuition that told me, don't do that today. It was all these different signs pointing to the direction of not getting on this bike. But my ego was like, man, I done drove in rain before. Bugs done went in my helmet. I got it. Later on that night, I ended up in an accident on a highway. Fortunate enough, I was able to walk away from it. But the fact that I went against everything in me that told me not to do it, and I've been warned, and I did it anyways, that's ego. I'm dealing with something now. I ended up getting an injury through sparring with Josiah last week. Intuition. I was like, oh, I'm going to grab my gloves and get them out the living room to clear up some of the clutter. Wasn't even thinking nothing of it. But I heard him saying all week, oh, yeah, whenever you want to get out there, man, we can get out there. And so as I was making my way through the kitchen, I decided to turn back around. And in my mind, the intuition was, man, just go put your gloves in the car. Like, no harm, no foul. Well, if you want to go a couple of rounds, Jay, I'll be out here. He wasn't even thinking about it. He was watching anime. And we ended up going outside. Now, if you guys ever seen Rocky 4 and Rocky 5, you'll understand what I'm finna say here. So you remember when Rocky beat Ivan Drago? And if you haven't seen this movie and I spoiled it for you, shame on you. This shit is super old. Everybody done seen this. But he wins the fight. But what they don't show you on Rocky 4 is what they show you on Rocky 5. He was taking a shower and he started having these head issues because if you follow the series, Rocky used to lead in with his head a lot. So he took a lot of head damage, right? So Ivan Drago, pride and ego and all that was hurt because he was this big old dude. He was supposed to win. He lost to Rocky. But I feel like Rocky lost because he was the one diagnosed with all the issues going into his later years. I'm saying that to go back to what happened to me. I'm out here, I'm sparring, and I knew I was getting tired a little bit after I think the 5th round, 6th round, some crazy number. We was doing just going back to back, right? Well, first, the intuition was put the gloves in the trunk. Second, dude, you gas. You need to just put the shit up. But in my mind, it's like, no, I want to see how I can handle myself when I'm tired. I want to challenge myself. Ego, pride. Intuition saying you tired, you're not going to be as sharp as you was the first 6 times. You might want to go in and put it up. Nope. Ended up getting hit the wrong way. It wasn't about winning and losing, but I felt like, oh yeah, I won most of the rounds, but now I lost the war because I'm the one dealing with something that he ain't having to deal with in terms of he can move around a lot better from the damage he taking as opposed to what I'm walking around with. And so I gave those examples because throughout life, and I think with anybody, we all have these times or these moments where it's very, very subtle. And I'm spiritual, so I like to say that it's your spirit talking to you or God talking to you. And he'll drop these real subtle gems, but you got to be in tune with your spirit to understand what's being told to you. And what happens is we'll hear it and we'll just write it off as something that was in our subconscious. We was thinking that was maybe some doubt or whatever. And it's like, nah, ain't nothing finna happen. But it really is intuition telling you, nah, not today. Doesn't mean that you won't be able to do it tomorrow, but just not today.
And now a quick moment from our sponsor, Journey of a Legend.
You. Yeah, you. What's your passion? Purpose. Every day you try, you succeed. The time is now. Journey of a Legend. It starts with you.
If you want to learn more or purchase merchandise, go to www.journeyofalegend.com.
And I just find that a lot of times people will go against their first mind, their intuition, their spirit, and they end up doing the opposite. And the very thing that you probably fear in the moment that could happen, it happens. So it's not a easy thing to conquer, especially being a male. Like I said, I'm sure women deal with it in their own right too. But I know with men, we get into a lot of shit because we don't know how to put our pride and ego to the side. I've seen a lot of fights happen that way. All you had to do was walk away. Dudes saying some insulting shit to you. In my older age now, it's like, who the hell cares? It doesn't affect you if you don't believe it. If you feel like that's who you are, that's what makes you mad about it. But when you're younger, it's like, no, you ain't finna diss me. That's my honor. No, it's like, why are you entertaining somebody saying some shit that's 20 yards away from you? As long as they ain't in your face, they ain't threatening your life and nothing like that. Man, let whatever that person say go and keep it pushing. But for whatever reason, we got to answer the bat signal. All kinds of stuff happen just by not listening to that teensy-weensy thing in your spirit that be like, don't do it today. So I still battle it in all areas. It's not just physical confrontation. It can be a money move that I'm about to make where my intuition is saying something and my ego and my pride tells me otherwise. And you either win or lose on that financial gain or loss. So it's in all areas of life that I feel like it happens. And I'm still dealing with that today. I'm a lot better, but I'm still nowhere near where I want to be in terms of listening to my intuition and making sound decisions.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. We are all works in progress. It is a daily struggle. Sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't, and it's that moment when you're like, damn, I should have. I struggle more with having to have an explanation as to why the intuition is telling me what it's telling me.
To know why you're being told this is not the right decision.
Right. It has to make sense. And now I'm so much better. So I totally get when you said I'm not where I want to be, because still in the back of my mind, I'm still struggling with that. Doesn't even make any sense. Like, why? But I'm on my way still doing what my intuition told me to do. I want to get to a place where it's like, I don't even need to know why. I'm just doing it. I don't care to see the possible consequence, repercussion, whatever it is. I don't want to see behind the curtain. I'm just going to take heed to this tiny voice or this, I don't think this is a good idea. Whatever it is, I just want to do it and have no second thoughts about it. I don't need to ponder it 6 and 7 hours or 3 days later after the fact. That's already extra time I'm lending to something. It's like you should have done it. You're still thinking about it. Why are you still going through the scenario in your head and having to have it make sense as to why you didn't follow through or whatever it is? I struggle with that more. So the ego and pride part, I think mine is more pride. If I was putting them, in an order, it'd be intuition first, then pride. Like my pride is hurt because of certain things. I have to tell myself it's not even about pride. Commit to whatever it is you're going to do it. And as you say, leave it all on the field. It's not about the emotion of it or anything. It's like, if I'm going to do this, it's not about how the person responds This is the outcome I have to have happen because I did this, and I don't know, that would be pride, right? Because I really will feel some type of way and put that on top of the intuition, two different things I'm lending time to unnecessarily because I can't control it. I just have to make the decision and live with the results.
Yeah.
I remember Proverbs 16:18. Pride comes before destruction and an arrogant spirit before a fall. With that being said, the goal for me is don't let my ego, pride, or lack of understanding get me into something that my intuition or God was trying so hard to keep me out of. I can avoid all the potholes, extra unnecessary bullshit if I just take heed to it and be comfortable with the results. I don't need to know. And that is the short of it for me. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, not really. Just encouraging young men out there because I think this is more geared towards us than women. That's just my opinion. I know women probably do have more of the pride issue on certain stuff. And they get to this point where they had an attitude, I do it myself. I can do it myself. Because of certain situations. It may be because nobody's ever done nothing for you, so they ended up having to do it from childhood to adulthood, and growing into an adulthood, they deal with a man and they say the wrong thing, or they didn't even know, and it's like, I do it myself. You ain't got to do it for me. I get it, but I still feel like this podcast is really for us, and I just want to encourage any man, not even young man, because old men do it too. They still have ego issues too. Put that shit aside, man. In certain situations, like ego and pride is good to have, but you need to balance it with your intuition, with your spirit, and listen to that little voice that's inside, because it's in all of us. You just have to pay attention to it. And whatever it's saying, it's usually right, man. I can't express to you guys how many times in my life where I've been told, don't do this, and something happened to me. I just thought about another. I actually thought about another example for you. I tore my ACL because of that too, guys. Spirit told me, or intuition, hey man, don't go to this game. Then I got a call from one of my teammates saying they really needed me because a couple of guys couldn't show up to the game, and they needed everybody that could show up. And me being loyal to the soil, I'm a rock out, but everything in me told me not to go to this freaking game. I went, the fourth play of the game, I get hit, routine tackle, tore my ACL. So I'm saying that to say intuition is batting 100 for 100 for me, 100 out of 100. It has not lost. Every time I went against it, I lost. Every time I used it, I won. I'm just giving you my experience. So sharing that with you guys, I definitely encourage you to please, please, please listen to your intuition. No matter how insane it sounds to you, just listen. I guarantee you will thank yourself later, because you just will save yourself some time. You might save yourself some injuries, whatever it is. Just listen to it, because it's usually right. I can't speak for everybody. I can speak for myself. It's been 100 out of 100 for me every time, win or loss.
Like you said, for your bike, that pavement is undefeated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that concrete hurt, man.
That was a great example that you gave for women. I wasn't even thinking of it. You hit the nail right on the head, and that's not an easy task, as I've learned when we've been out there hammering those nails in that deck. How you get a rhythm and you almost like, don't hit my finger. With women, we build up like this whole pride thing because, like you said, with lack of maybe having, I'll say for myself, a lack of having a father. My mother was both. So I was one of those people, or one of those women. I can do it myself. I got it. I can do it. I got it. I can do it.
You grew up watching women doing it themselves your whole life. So
yeah, and
like, what do I need you for?
And you don't even realize you're doing it, and you can have the help, the blessing of a male friend, partner, boyfriend, whatever, uncle, your husband, that's wanting to get in there and help you, but you so prideful and can carry my bags. I can close my door. I can wash my car. I can multitask. I can hold the phone, make dinner, go outside, get the mail, mow the lawn. It's like, man, dude, will you, be receptive to what should have been in the beginning, you having some help and some male energy and some male perspective and some male feedback and some male strength, because we cannot do everything. But years and years and years of programming, you don't even realize it's a pride factor there. So man, I didn't even think about that, but that was me totally. Even when we got married, it's like, I know you can do it, Beara. I have no doubt in my mind you can hold it down. You can grab this, do that. It's not about if you can, it's about letting me do it. Because this is what I want to do. This is what I should be doing, And not to put it like it's a stereotype that a man needs to be changing a tire. Just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. So that was a great example on pride. Well, I hope that, as always, you guys had a takeaway from this, because this is something we're working on daily. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Just stay in the game. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggested topics, you want to keep this conversation going, you can shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of our latest one on our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.